There are silk-making villages like this scattered throughout northeast Thailand. I've come here to see how the worms turn their food into silk.
Whoa!
And how people turn the worms into food.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
Whether they're tiny eggs, 10-day grubs, or 1-month monsters, the worms are carefully tended and fed hand-selected mulberry leaves.
Oh, ring the dinner bell. It's time to eat.
Time to eat. Have a good lunch.
It's really all about the food because the silk threads are produced by the worm's salivary glands. That's how the worms make their cocoons.
So, if her job is just to raise the worms, does somebody else in the village actually spin the silk from the cocoons?
Yes.
Every single one of these cocoons holds about 1,000 yards of fine silk thread. When the cocoon is complete, it goes into boiling water because that's what's going to loosen the sticky stuff binding the silk threads together.
That's insane. Who invented this? I mean, who knew to throw it in boiling water?
Ancient lore claims that a Chinese empress discovered silk when a silkworm cocoon fell into her cup of tea.
So basically, what starts out as this goes in the boiling water, they pull all the silk threads off of it, and all that's left is the paper cover
Yes.
and the little fella
yes.
in there.
The boiled grubs are very creamy and gooey, kind of like popping a paper-covered custard ball into your mouth.
But you can eat them this way, right out of the boiling water?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I bet kids love them.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Sweet, nutty.
Silkworms have supported villages like this one for generations and fed them too. Because once the cocoons are turned into silk, the larvae are turned into food.
These guys spin so much silk, they've got piles of these every day. That's fantastic. Look at that.
This is silkworm larva, topped with seasoning salt and fried in peanut oil. A classic afternoon snack in this part of Thailand.
Smells like popcorn.
But not with the butter, you know?
Yeah, with less butter.
Without butter.
Hundreds of tiny grubs were hand-peeled for this dish before being wok-fried in peanut oil.
Oh, yeah.
Much better.
There's some textural issues. Before, when it's in the hot water, it's like one gushy mess.
Yes.
It's over and done with very fast. Here, the outside, the skin,
They put some salt also.
crisps up a little bit, which is nice. But then you have the contrast between that and the bug custard on the inside.
Yeah.
That bug custard has the faint fruit flavor of mulberry leaves. I have to say, the gooey texture on the inside is not my favorite kind of eating.
They're addictive, though. It's like putting your hand over a match. It hurts a little, but it's a thrill. Oh, I see them.
The locals call these giraffe beetles. They use those long, pointy things to suck out the tree sap. I'll be collecting and eating them. But there's a catch.
The problem is that these little bugs live in these little grassy, twiggy papyrus areas, but so do the buffalo beans, which are poisonous, give you a horrible rash almost instantaneously. And we're trying to find a spot that's safe for clumsy white people. Let's just, I'm just saying.
But there is no safe spot.
You know what?
So the production crew just has to suck it up.
I got the spot.
And so do I.
Wow. Look at all of these. Right here on this little piece of dead vine.
So we got the bugs, but we're paying for it.
We're both stung. I can feel it on my fingers are burning, my arms are burning. That burns like a mother. Seriously, I'm sorry. There they are. They look like something out of Dr. Seuss.
Locals call them beetles, but for the record, the experts back home say they're not really beetles. They're a rare species called Xana tenebrosa. But with both my arms feeling on fire, I really don't care what you call them.
I'll tell you one thing, though, it better be good.
While I've been making a big production out of collecting one strand of beetles, Erica has been quietly working away in another part of the grove.
So while I was busy getting like 3, you guys have like 20 pounds of them? You've got to be kidding me. That is the most shaming thing.
She laughs about it, but Erica's skin burns just like mine does. What to me seems like searing pain, to her is all in a day's work. So maybe I'll just shut up about my burning rash. Back at the village, they're preparing a lunch of freshly caught river eels. But the bugs are the most popular thing on the menu.
But one thing is true all around the world, regardless of where you're eating bugs or beetles, take the wings off. So you just boil them in salted water?
The bugs stay on the fire until all the water evaporates, leaving them salted and moist.
Wow, that's good. It's like toasted nuts and shrimp shells. Wow. I mean, who knew? And the beaks are nice, crunchy. The nose. Please let her know. The salt, perfect. Without that salt in there, be very, very flat. It was very nicely done. Well seasoned.
Jose Carlos Redon and his family bought land and built a ranch out here in Hidalgo to create a personal getaway and food lab to explore how to bring indigenous Mexican food into the mainstream. Ants, worms, and a yard full of giant mesquite bugs are in season.
I mean, their nickname is stink bugs, right?
Chinche pedorra, because it makes that noise and it has the stinkiness.
The smell is just, I mean, some people think it's a little bit rancid, but to me, it's just kind of like tutti frutti, or a piece of, like a banana went a little bad, sat around and got too ripe.
Before they're cooked, the bugs are cleaned in salt water, which also euthanizes them. While they're soaking, Jose shows me his nopale cactus cluster on the side of the house. And where there's nopale, you can usually find nopale worms.
There's a hole. There's a...
Got him. Wow. Yeah, no, I got him. Yeah. Oh! Hello! It's like midgets coming out of the car at the circus. Oh my God.
All right, there's a few more, but I think that's it.
Well, all right then.
That's a nice catch.
That is a nice haul.
This is 0 kilometer indigenous food. From cactus to stovetop, nothing in between. Add a little salt, a little oil.
And these guys are ready, so you can just...
Throw them on. Here, put them right there.
They need a little bit of salt.
Sure, no problem.
There's nothing to distinguish how we're eating right now from people standing on this spot 1,000 years ago.
It's a nice bug.
It is a very nice bug.
Oh, God. You can't tell me that that doesn't taste like shrimp or lobster. It's like a soft-shell crab that's cooked over the fire. I mean...
Similar.
A very, very crisp, sweet, and
Juicy.
with the salt. Oh, it's unbelievable.
The worms have an earthy character, sweetened by the plant that both feeds and shelters it.
And these are really easy to find.
They're really clean tasting. I mean, obviously, they're eating all that nopale. So these guys are eating green food, and they taste it.
Yep, absolutely.
I mean, I think it really is a flavor of a green bean. It's got the texture of an old pus bag, but I think it's delicious because you have that char on the outside.
Sadly, fresh nopale worms aren't an option at most restaurants or markets, even here in Mexico. Escamole, on the other hand, is surging in popularity. A high-quality batch like this can sell in a retail market for about $60 a pound. There's already onions, mushrooms, and jalapeno sizzling in the pan, along with aloe vera blossom, all harvested on the farm.
Oh my God, look at the flowers. Just gorgeous. Cheers, my friend. Oh, wow. What a gorgeous combination. There's a milky softness to those eggs. It almost feels like I'm eating an omelet. Got that gorgeous sort of soft egg flavor to it. The onions and the chilies sort of just belong in there with that scrambled egg flavor. And there's an herbal sort of floral quality, sweetness that the aloe vera flowers give that's extraordinary. A little celery crunch. I mean, that's it.
Yes.
This is the flavor of Mexico. You know, it's not cilantro and tomato salsa at the Fixins bar.
No, or nacho cheese dishes, which is one of the other things we really need to work on, you know? It's knowledge about Mexican food that is not the real Mexican food.
Yeah, true.
Today, we join the hunt for white ants. Not the tiny variety, but a large winged flying ant that lives underground. And we're gonna start at a very large anthill.
So, what are those little ski jumps that they're making?
Those are now the roads which will lead the white ants into the container.
Oh my God.
Yes.
It's quite a complicated process to lure the ants out. First, tubes are fashioned out of clay to herd the ants into containers.
I always thought to myself, you know, ants just travel in a line. If you could just coax them along like donkeys or, you know, goats, you could just get a big pile of them without doing any of the crazy stuff. This is very smart.
Sometimes water is sprinkled on the nest to fool the ants into thinking it's raining. Smoke can also be used to force them out. But typically, the villagers bring in the big guns, or rather, the big drums. They start pounding and singing, and then they pound some more.
Basically, the drumming just drives the ants crazy. They're just looking to get the hell out of Dodge.
As the day goes on, the villagers keep pounding. They relieve each other to keep the intensity high. I try it out for a few minutes, but I don't seem to be helping the cause.
I'm driving the ants underground. I've cursed the system. Come on, ants. Believe it or not, this has been going on now for 3 hours.
Even though a few ants have staggered to the surface, I'm told the best is yet to come.
This ant business is hard work, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
They can do this for 2, 3, 4 hours.
And then it starts. At first, a few stragglers, and then a whole deluge of ants. Huge winged ants that are hustled into containers.
I've never had white African ants, so I'm really excited. I'm feeling myself get hungry. Wow. Look, he's thrilled. Whoa, these are flying ants.
Yes.
And he's eating them raw.
Yes, you can eat them raw.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I gotta try one.
Yes.
You're serious about this, right?
Yes.
All right. You sure?
Yeah, very sure.
They taste like almonds. They really do. There's a nutty sweetness to them that reminds me just like eating almonds.
Well.
Almonds with wings.
Usually the ants are served cooked, and thankfully, that process is easier than gathering them. As night falls, the wings are singed and shaken off. Then the ants are fried.
This proves my point. The moment the ants are getting toasted, kids come running because they're a favorite snack around here of everyone, regardless of their age. And quite frankly, the only reason that people back in the western part of the world think that this is unusual is because of some sort of, you know, mythology or unnecessary contempt prior to investigation, because they think that eating bugs or something like that is somehow not the same as eating, you know, tomato mozzarella salad or a big juicy hamburger. But in other parts of the world, they would laugh at us eating that.
They are wondering, why do you want to eat white ants?
Because people in this part of the world have eaten white ants for forever, and everybody says they taste good. I think when we share food together, we get to celebrate the things that we all love as opposed to our differences. Look at that big pile of wings that's just collecting there. See, it's just like making pasta. About midway through the cooking process, somebody's got a sample. What do you think? Good? Yeah. They're good? All right. These are good. They taste like raw almonds when they're raw, and they taste like toasted almonds when they're cooked.
Welcome to Spiderville. Arachnophobes beware. The creepy crawlers are everywhere, and not just on your plate. In Scone, getting to know your food source can be a bit intimidating. I guess if you're going to cook and eat them, you've got to handle them first.
Can you give me one? Oh, okay. Well, once you touch one, it still isn't any good. I'm just like, don't bite me, don't bite me.
This is Chea Vun, a single mother of 3 who supports herself as a fried spider vendor. She sells out of her special recipe spiders nearly every day, making her one of the most popular hawkers in Scone. Her first step, give them a good soak, or 3 or 4.
Oh my gosh, these guys were filthy.
Chea buys her spiders for about 12 cents a piece from a local husband-wife team who go deep into the forest to dig out the elusive tarantulas from their burrows. And yes, they defang them before delivering them to their customers.
Oh, 2 rinsings, very important. It's like you're cooking good rice.
And why are Chea's arachnid appetizers so popular with the locals? Big flavors.
Mashed garlic cloves and peppercorns. Sort of a classic nage for good tarantula cookery. So believe it or not, she's actually seasoning that with instant chicken soup mix. This stuff is good for this, huh? It's good? Yeah, chicken.
So that's her secret. This is going to be awesome.
Boy, I'll tell you, the garlic and the black pepper and the salt and sugar starting to break down, and the salt and sugar is actually starting to liquidize on there.
When frying the furry fellas, it's advised to stand a short distance from the sizzling wok. Exploding tarantulas can be hazardous.
Oh, yeah. Whoa! It's whistling. They're whistling in the oil.
It takes about 3 minutes to fry all the fur off the tarantulas. Everyone in this household is holding their breath in anticipation.
I'm very excited. Very excited. I can't wait any longer. Delicious. So, wow. I've never had the opportunity to eat fresh, live tarantulas being cooked. They taste just like soft-shell crabs. They're sweet, they're nutty. It's incredible. You see those little white tips on the end? Just like lobsters or crabs, when you pull the legs out, little bits of meat.
About half of Chea's spiders come with an added bonus.
Let me just show you a little something. I have no idea what... I certainly hope that what she just said isn't, don't eat that, it'll kill you. Those are all eggs.
This egg sack is stuffed with anywhere from 50 to 200 undeveloped spiderlings. And the taste? Well, the crispy fried skin and salty sweet glaze really makes up for the flavorless, mealy eggs.
Good as the eggs are, I'm kind of a face guy. Yeah. I'm definitely a face guy. The face is sweeter, has more flavor than the eggs. I've never been blown away by the quality of the eating experience the way that I have been today. Between the seasoning, the freshness, the fact that they're hot, this is just fantastic. Very nice, very nice.